All right, let's move on to 1 p.m. Eastern. Raiders, New York Giants. Raiders 5-2, 2-1 on the road. Giants 2-6, 1-3 home. You want to wipe the smile off your face? Talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. All of the fun out the fucking door now because we got to talk about this Raiders football team. 55 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 6 miles per hour. Vegas offensively being very good this year. 307.9 yards through the air, 85.4 through the ground. Defensively, they allowed 222.7 through the air. Their secondary is so much stronger than I expected it to be. Their pass rush so much stronger than I expected it to be. Too bad that they're dealing with all this stuff going on. 131.3 yards allowed on the ground. For the Giants, they through the air 256.5 yards, which I'm very impressed with all the injuries they've had to wide receivers. And they carry the ball 89.3 yards, which isn't that bad considering it's Devontae Booker show with Saquon out. Defensively, they allowed 245.4 and 123.3 yards on the ground. Their defense is, especially against defending ground attacks, has been bad. Bye weeks are dangerous, and a Vegas football team is going to have more danger on a bye week probably because of the party atmosphere in Vegas. And Henry Ruggs had the whole world in the palm of his hands, and I'm not the judge and jury, and I don't know. I mean, obviously I've read about it and tried to learn what happened. And 22-year-old, first round pick, superstar, is now facing the driving under the influence charge resulting in death. It's a felony. The woman who was killed was in the other car. The woman with him went to the hospital, and so did he. But, I don't know what happened, and lawyers get paid a lot of money to fix this shit. So, but you have to think that this is going to affect this football team who have been dealing with all this adversity with the whole Gruden situation. Now they have to deal with this shit. And, it's a felony. There's no probation option or anything like that. It's 2 to 20 years in state prison. And Ruggs lost his childhood friend, Rod Scott, in a car accident. He pays tribute to him, putting 3 fingers in the air. And it's just a very, very sad story. And, there's not much more. I mean, let's not talk more about it. It's just sad. It sucks. It fucking sucks. It sucks. So it's sad. It's awful. So 24 catches for 469, 2 touchdowns, 19.5 yards per catch is second in the NFL for any pass catches with at least 20 receptions. We last saw the Raiders in an extremely impressive 33-22 victory at home over the Eagles, made even more impressive when the Eagles bitch slapped the Lions this week. Derek Carr was 31 of 34, 323 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. They've dealt with so much adversity and handled it so well. Foster Moreau comes in for Darren Waller and looks excellent. Catches 6 passes for 60 yards. I mean, it's too bad that they have to keep fighting through all this bullshit. Kenyon Drake ran 14 times for 69 yards, 1 touchdown, caught 3 passes for 10 yards because Jacobs had a chest contusion during the game after carrying the ball 6 times for 29 yards and a touchdown. He caught 3 passes for 39 yards. Defense got 2 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. It was a second straight win with Wilson calling the plays. Bisaccia now in control for 2 games. They've outscored Denver and Philadelphia 67-46, now gained them both 869, 779. Look, I'm not surprised about the outgaining, but outscoring them 67-46 is impressive. And now they have all this shit they got to figure out. God damn. And then Big Ragu says, Danny Dimes, no thank you, stay away game. Giants are on short rest and preparations after the 2017 loss at Kansas City last night. Daniel Jones, 22 of 32 for 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Being on that under 52.5 was that we were both on. And we haven't had a ton of plays where we're both on, like, with conviction. That was a really nice casher for us, and I hope that leads us into this week. John Ross caught 2 passes for 72 yards. Devontae Booker was great, ran 15 times for 60 yards, caught 5 passes for 65 yards. Adoree Jackson was a monster, 12 tackles. Julian Love had an interception. Giants finished with 2 sacks and 5 quarterback hits. So more pain. And whenever I say more pain, I think of Dennis Garcia. It says so much pain, so much pain. Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard quad. Dante Pettis shoulder left in the second quarter. Kadarius Toney left in the fourth quarter with a thumb injury. All 3 are listed as questionable. They didn't practice today, so more info will come out tomorrow. Saquon Barkley, Kenny Golladay, safety Nate Ebner, linebacker Lorenzo Carter were all inactive last night, and it says questionable to go tonight. God, Bebsie, can you make some sense of all this shit? It's a soap opera here, and it's also we want to make money off of it. So very, very tricky. Raiders open up at -3. That's where they stand right now, but there's been a 12-cent move to the Giants. And then from a cash flow side of things, we have 3,492 tickets in, 22% of tickets on the Giants, 31% of cash. And we don't know the total yet with cash, but we know 52% of tickets are on the over. Can you find any clarity here?
I mean, I don't know how you can really, and I agree. It's just tragic across the board. You hate to see any kind of this thing. Obviously, horrible for the woman who's lost her life. That's terrible. I think like you did, it's there's not. While we don't know that much, the smartest thing is to just be quiet on everything else, other than admitting to the horrible tragedy that it was. And look, the Raiders have been through it already with Gruden. Obviously, very different scenarios, but other garbage that this organization has had to deal with so far. And I knew right away what would happen to the Raiders when the Gruden thing came out. I'm not so confident here because, a thing like this can either rip the team apart or they can look at what's happened to them, what they've dealt with so far, and let this galvanize them and go out and beat an inferior Giants team because even without Henry Ruggs, and he was becoming incredibly important to this team, this offense, being able to stretch the field the way he can and being that big target receiver. I still think talent-wise, the Raiders are so much better than the Giants. And if they can get themselves up to win this game and be dominant in this game, then I think they'll get through this. But if they fall apart here, I would say the season is over for the Raiders. And I'm talking about a 5-2 football team with a ton of talent. I think this has now gone from what should have been a cakewalk to a very somber, incredibly important game for the Raiders. So part of me thinks they can let this galvanize them as a team, pull together and crush the Giants. And you mentioned a bunch of guys on the injury report. Obviously, Saquon Barkley sticks out. With the Giants looking at a bye next week, there's no way they're rushing back Barkley. He's not playing. He's as good as out, as far as I'm concerned. So, they're still, with everything taken into context, the Giants are still at a massive disadvantage, even though they're at home. Even though the Raiders are dealing with all kinds of, distraction now. And that's going to be all that's talked about all week. And they're going to be trying to talk about it pregame. And you almost wish Gruden was still around for this because, he's enough of a character and enough of a vet coach to sort of try and take some of the distraction onto himself. I'm glad that fucking idiot's gone, but they could kind of use that dumbass this week.
Yeah, they could. You're right.
So I don't know. I still think this is a really tough spot. Like I said right at the very beginning, I don't I'm not sure what this will do to the team this time. It's not as obvious as the Gruden thing. I do think it's going to be extremely difficult for them to get up.
You know, after hearing you break that down, I want to bet the Raiders. I'm not right now under any circumstances. I will sit and study this for a little longer. I just think there's a ton going on, and it's going to take a little while to sift through it all.
There could also very well be a lot more information that comes out about this incident between now and Sunday. And I think given the news, that could shift them one way or another. I mean, this is still so early. Yeah. And again, obviously it looks terrible from the outside. And it is terrible. I'm not trying to say that it isn't a terrible thing, but you know, there could be information that comes out that changes the way people look at it.
Yeah, for better or for worse, unfortunately.
Sure.
Hopefully for better. Let's just move past it. I don't know what to do with it, but I think that the talent-wise, and after the Giants played the Chiefs so tough on it, I mean, it's the perfect situation. It would have been the perfect situation to bet the Raiders with the Giants on the short week and looking so good against the Chiefs, who are clearly not the team that, you know, was the Super Bowl favorites in the offseason. So, yeah, okay, let's move past it. A lot going on. We could sit here and talk about that for too long.